How's it going, everybody? I'm Brooks,
I'm Joe,
and this is another episode of Cantina Reviews Barside Chats.
and today we are talking about Halloween 2018.
Yes, we are.
And we have a special guest with us today, actually.
Ooh.
With us right now is Michael Myers.
Hey.
Michael, say something.
I guess,
I could have swore someone told me he has said something before.
yes. At least one thing.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, so I guess we'll talk. You sit there.
Yeah.
If you want to say something, just chime in. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, good. All right.
Okay.
So, yeah, we saw the movie not too long ago.
Right. For anyone not well-versed in the Halloween continuity,
Which I am not.
this is a direct sequel to the 1978 original.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Halloween 2 from like 1980 and 81 or whatever it was. And also not to be confused with Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one.
Yes.
Or not to be confused with Halloween H2O
Yes.
either. This is the new Halloween 2 called Halloween.
It's kind of crazy that there are so many movies in this universe that all are like direct sequels or prequels or whatever they are to other movies. But like, so they make like 2 or 3, it seems, and then they're like, well, these next 2 or 3 are nothing off of those 2 or 3.
Yeah, let me get like a fact check on myself real quick before I say this.
Yeah, because it just sounds like it's like they all just contradict each other.
Right, because there are a total, I think, of 11 movies in this franchise.
Oh my god, I thought it was like 7. That's crazy.
11, yeah, 11 including the new one. And yeah, what happened was it was like Halloween 1 and 2. Halloween 3, they tried to do something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Halloween 4, Michael Myers came back. And it was like kind of a soft reboot of 1.
Mm-hmm.
They did 4, 5, 6. Then they did H2O, which ignored 4, 5, 6, which was already ignoring 3.
Jesus.
So H2O was like a sequel to 2.
Uh-huh.
And then they did Resurrection. Then the Rob Zombie ones, Halloween and Halloween 2,
Right.
which were just straight up remakes,
Mm-hmm.
like their own thing. And then now you have Halloween 2018, which ignores everything, and it's a direct sequel to Halloween 1.
Right.
It is so weird how many times they've done that.
Yeah, and like how not good it sounds like they've all been.
Well, like none of them were really that good. And that's why I was like, I was interested in this because like the way it was marketed was like, we're going to do, it's like a modern version of a classic,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, we want to do justice to what the original set up.
Right.
Because something I hadn't like remembered really, because I've seen these all like, throughout the years, like on TV occasionally or whatever around the Halloween season. And it's like, I forgot the whole twist that Michael Myers was Laurie's brother didn't come till Halloween 2.
Right.
So this movie, because it ignores Halloween 2, he's not her brother.
Right.
But they're still setting it up as like, following the events of Halloween, Laurie's life is pretty much ruined by the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And what's kind of interesting about the movie, overall, like what surprised me about the movie was how much it just felt like another, like, pretty bad Halloween sequel.
Right.
Like, it got the job done, and I enjoyed it, because I enjoy bad horror movies.
Right.
But I would say, like, this was a bad movie.
Yeah, just like a
like-
purely bad movie.
Like, with its moments, but, like, it just felt like a 90s Halloween sequel.
Right.
Like, I think I was surprised that it wasn't anything special. It was like, okay, another Halloween sequel.
Yeah, it's like, are they trying to get us in like the nostalgia of a 90s slasher movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like...
And that's why we're going to say it's not terrible, because it reminds us of like a 90s slasher.
Right.
Yeah.
And still paying, like, homage to not only the original, but, like, things from some of the sequels were seen in the movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
callbacks and stuff. But, like, the interesting premise that they didn't really dive into too much, there were kind of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, like, one that, like, Laurie's been obsessing over him for years, but since they've removed the sibling connection,
Right.
he doesn't really know or care about her that much.
Right, which is weird to me. That's like, Yeah, it's like it made sense because, oh, well, he's her sister, and when I was reading the synopses and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it was like he wants to finish the job
Yeah.
because he never killed her and he wants to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this one, it's like
It's actually not
well,
really it.
Yeah, it's like
It's actually like because like the Halloween sequels, the first one didn't, but the Halloween sequels wanted to create this whole family connection, this whole motivation for Michael Myers. They eventually get into this like weird like mystical element of it, as far as like a telepathy between like Michael Myers and like his later niece, Laurie's daughter or whatever, and like this ignores that for this idea that like he's just an evil killing machine.
right.
And just essentially, once he gets loose in this movie, he just kills.
Yeah, and that's
whoever
it.
he sees, he kills.
Yeah.
And it's like he actually doesn't care about Laurie.
Yeah.
It just so happens that the plot
she's
he
there.
finds himself at her house.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't. What I thought this movie was going to be was him seeking her out and her
Right.
seeking him out for the final confrontation. But
Yeah.
really, it's like it just so happens that he ends up at her house for the sake of the plot. Otherwise,
Right.
he's just a mindless killing machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
'Cause I was like,
interesting.
what's the point? I was like, where's the motivation?
There is no.
I was like, why is he going after her? I was like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just so happens that all these events have managed to continue to lead him to her.
Right. And like when you remove because it's like Halloween worked by itself as like a killer gets loose and he happens to be stalking Laurie and her friends.
Right.
But like when you add the idea of sequels into it, it's like you almost need motivation for the sake of a plot. So I think that's why they came up with the family connection.
Yeah.
But when you remove the family connection, he's kind of just like I don't know, he's just like an out of control bus
Right.
that is just plowing
He's
through
going
people,
until he hits something.
and she's trying to stop it, but he actually doesn't really seem to have any real recollection or care that she's the one that got away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, obviously he never says or shows anything to make it known that he knows who she is.
Yeah.
But she's, yeah, she could just be saying all this shit, because how long is it? Like 40 years later? What
It's
was
40
it?
years later, yeah.
40 years later, it's like, how might he remember who she is or even what she looks like at this
Right.
point?
And what's interesting is like, and also because he's like crazy, so like,
Yeah.
but like, you know, the other theme of the movie that they kind of touched upon but don't really get into as much because there's not really any good real dialogue to be had. But the
Right.
idea of like her trauma affecting generations of her family.
Right.
You have like the daughter was taken away and wants to like resist the life that Laurie was like bringing her up in.
Right.
And then you have the granddaughter who's kind of like, you know, stuck in the middle of the two of them.
Yeah.
But it's like you're seeing, and then once, you know, spoilers, once you get to the end and the granddaughter has to play a part in stopping Michael,
Right.
she is now affected by the trauma. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like a generational thing, which I thought was super interesting, but they don't really do anything more than scratch the surface.
Yeah.
Which is another reason it feels like just your average slasher sequel. They don't make an effort to really do anything particularly
Yeah,
special.
to dive any deeper
It's
into
like,
anything else.
what if we made a decent Halloween sequel because we really liked Halloween and we
Yeah.
want to make another one?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more or less like, oh, let's just pump this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, yeah, now thinking about that, it's like all of the scene, like all of that just happened. All those, like all the plot points that happened, all somehow led to her.
Yeah.
As opposed to like him hunting her or her hunting him, which it seems like she's been training for forever.
Right.
Instead, it's like, it just so happened that everything led to her.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess they could play into the mystical side of it, but it's
Yeah.
really, it didn't look like it.
Nah,
it
there
just
wasn't-
happened.
There wasn't any sense of that there was this greater thing going on. Which,
Right.
like, granted, they wanted to continue, like, from the original. Like, he was just a crazy killer.
Right.
And it was, like, a random event, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like, at the same time, it's not so random because he still goes to the same town.
Right, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like,
He
and
still goes
He
there.
apparently drove a truck there, so, like, he could have driven wherever he wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I don't- and he, like, goes for his mask with those podcasters, so, like, I don't know.
Right.
I think if you look too much into it, it falls apart. But like,
Yeah, it's one of those things.
that's why again it just comes back to like, I just was wondering like what was the point of just making another run-of-the-mill Halloween sequel
Right.
that was like slightly better than the others.
It's like, why couldn't we just make something actually different?
Right. And at one point I thought it was. So like spoilers, the big twist of the movie is when like his doctor that has been obsessing over him as well. It's another big thing in this movie. Everyone's obsessed with figuring out Michael Myers.
Yeah.
But like the doctor who's been studying him and obsessing over him, doesn't want him to die because he wants to like see it all play out.
Right.
Kills the police officer. But then, so like he gets out of the car and he's like, oh, he's dead. And then he pops up and he's wearing the mask and he's like, so this is what it feels like.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been a very bold choice to now say Michael Myers is dead and this is the new Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe the last act of the movie was going to be the doctor on a killing rampage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would have been really different, at least.
Right.
But they abandoned that right away.
Yeah,
it's just
funny, like,
all that's there for is to get Michael to Laurie's house.
Yeah.
Because then he goes, "Oh, you have to confront Laurie Strode."
Right. It was funny when he puts a mask on and like people start laughing.
Yeah.
Like, because you see him bend down and it's like she's locked in the cop car.
Yeah.
He just hit the doctor hit Michael with the cop car. He gets out to check on him and then you don't see anything, but you see him pop up with a mask on. And everybody just starts dying laughing. I was like, oh my God, what am I watching?
I did think there were a few moments where we laughed where I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be funny.
Right, but when the whole audience is laughing.
Because it's like, okay, like, the little kid that the babysitter is watching,
right.
He ends up being like a standout, like pretty funny kid.
Yeah.
But then he's still being funny when Michael starts killing people.
Yeah.
And it's like, am I supposed to be laughing or am I supposed to be scared? When
exactly.
Michael comes out of the closet and he goes, oh, shit.
Oh, shit. And he just runs out of there.
Yeah.
While he's watching his babysitter get hacked. Yeah, it was all very interesting. Yeah. It's like, am I laughing? Am I not laughing? I'm not understanding what we're going for tone-wise here.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like all over the place. Like, is it gory? Is it horror? Is it funny? Is it campy?
Yeah, because, like the one where that scene we were talking about where the friend leaves the dance with her.
Oh yeah,
and he gets killed on one side of the fence. She sees him on the other.
Yeah,
and she does this like stereotypical scream.
Yeah,
and everybody just starts laughing again.
Yeah, because like first of all, that was one of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Right.
When he was like, you couldn't see him when the motion sensor light would go on, or when the light came on, he would be in a different location.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
Right.
But then yeah, kind of when she sees him die, and she just goes, ah,
yeah,
like the whole audience started laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just like it was hard to. Like it was hard to get a grip on what they were going for.
Yeah,
like tone, emotion.
I don't think
like
they quite knew.
Yeah, because I was like, I wasn't scared.
No,
which I feel nowadays with most movies, like I'm not scared or creeped out anymore.
Right.
The only few that have done that to me recently have been the Sinister series.
The first Sinister freaked me out. Yeah.
Like those are the only ones that I've ever been like truly scared or freaked out about. Like The Ring when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But like watching this, like I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
The jump scares were terrible.
Yeah.
They weren't good. Like there was something where there was like a second or two of like a precursor.
Right.
Where you're like, well, I expect it now. Like something would happen where it would happen. And you're like, eh.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was weird. Like I wasn't scared. I wasn't creeped out. I wasn't like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there wasn't even like, it's like, I feel like you always like, they did a little bit of like Michael's in the background watching, but not a lot of it. Like not like the first one where like she'd look out the window and he's across the street. And then he's gone, or she'll look out her window, he's there, and then he's gone. Like, that kind of stalking aspect, because he was really just on a killing rampage. But you always knew, because of what the camera was doing, you always knew where he was.
Yeah, exactly. It was always like a telling, like, oh, I'm supposed to be looking in the background here.
Like I said, the best scene as far as like building the hype of the kill was the motion sensor light scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good, and
Yeah.
like
Which ended with that scream.
And I guess the closet scene could have been, but that was in the trailer, so like I knew it was coming.
Right.
So that kind of like ruined that surprise, I guess.
Yeah, but most of the kills are just like up front, like brute force, like
We're just watching it.
exactly. Like
there wasn't
we're
really
watching
like
him come out of left field and just killing somebody. Yeah, it's not like
there's not
it's
like an art to it.
Or even then, like when he was like killing the babysitter and the boyfriend and stuff like that, like they didn't even show them.
Yeah.
Like you just show up and you see the bodies, like that's it. But yeah, it was just weird because it was like he's just killing people.
Well, and even then, so like again, like as far as like weird tone that being back and forth, or like what we're supposed to be like, what this movie's supposed to be. You know, because now they've portrayed Michael because the family element's gone. He's just like pure evil. That's what they were going for with this. He's just pure evil. But they make sure to include a scene where there's a crying baby in a crib.
Yeah.
But he doesn't kill the baby.
Right.
He's not a baby killer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, and not that I'm saying like he should have like killed a baby.
Yeah.
But he did kill a kid.
Right.
Like, we watched him break a kid's neck. So it's like, what's it going for?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is true.
Like, why put the crying baby? Is it just to build your anticipation? Like, oh my god, he's gonna kill the baby, and then like,
well that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was like, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, well, I
was like, they're gonna have him do it.
That's what I like. My thought was like, where's this going right now? Is it gonna go that dark, or is it not?
Exactly.
You know, I don't know. But it's like, if he is pure evil like that, wouldn't he have?
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I'm saying like you should kill babies
like,
in movies, but like,
yeah, but if you're trying to portray him as like the senseless killer, and that's why it's scary because he just kills to kill.
Yeah.
Then it's like, yeah, he would do it.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of strange.
Because now it's like, oh well, no, now he's like, not that he's a nice guy, but it's like, oh well, he has morals.
Right.
It's
to
like,
some extent, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but he ripped a bunch of teeth out of people and then dropped them on a bathroom floor to scare the shit out of some woman.
Yeah, yeah.
That was kind of nuts.
That was pretty creepy.
Like, that was intense.
That was a good scene.
Like, that was crazy.
There was, like I said, it wasn't. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was like bad in the sense that it's like your average sequel to Halloween. Like, they didn't try to do anything special.
Going into it, they were like, it's going to ignore all the other ones.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, nice. And you get there, and it's like, no, it's kind of like the other ones.
And it's kind of just taking things from the other ones.
Yeah.
You know, there was a bathroom scene in one of them.
Right.
Where there was, some of the kills are reminiscent of, like, you know, he, like, sticks the knife through the boyfriend and hangs him on the wall. Like, that's right from out of the original.
Or, where he was the ghost in the original.
Oh,
like, where he wore the
yeah.
sheep, but then instead the girlfriend was the sheep.
There's a few things like that, too, which I liked. As far as like what I did like I said, that motion sensor, some of the kills were cool. Some of the setup was cool. Actually, the setup was really good.
Yeah.
And then the final act of Laurie kind of hunting him.
Yeah.
The reversal.
Right.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it had some good parts to it.
Yeah. Except like when you said, when they're down in the bunker, why'd they shoot through the floor? He had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, they build this, or Laurie builds this bunker, like under the kitchen island, and it moves. And then if he comes back, they can hide in there. They're hiding in there for that purpose. It's like impenetrable, basically, and it's hidden.
Yeah.
And instead, she shoots to the floor and reveals where they are. Yeah, it's like, why would you do that?
Well, I guess also because like she just wants to kill him.
Right. It's like, but wouldn't you like wait to sneak up on him instead of trying to shoot through the floor?
Yeah.
Because you have no idea where he is. You can kind of hear him walking.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then again, some like role reversal as far as he pushes her out the window, and then when he looks, she's gone. And that's like the typical Michael Myers move.
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually kind of liked a lot of that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I thought the ending was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the ending was good. It was funny. It was funny when she was like, "Happy Halloween, Mike."
Oh, that was like pure 90s schlock.
Yep.
When
just her face in the darkness.
The daughter. I also liked this too. When the daughter, Judy Greer's character, starts screaming and crying, "Oh, I can't do it! I can't do it!" And then he appears, and she's like, "Gotcha."
Yeah.
But then when Jamie Lee Curtis, like, her just face appears, she's like, "Happy Halloween, Michael." And I'm like, "Oh, this is so 90s."
Yeah. But the weird, like, chime or tone of music.
Yeah.
Bang. And it was just like, it's not a because I guess she would hide in the basement often when she was growing up, and she said it was a cage, and then she's just like, it's not a cage, it's a trap.
Oh, there were some great one-liners at the end.
And he's underneath it.
They just hit you with 3 one-liners in a row.
Yeah, all in the row. It's like, where were they spread throughout the movie?
Yeah. If you would have told me that movie came out in 1998,
I would believe you.
I'd absolutely believe you. Like 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I wonder what the third one's going to be like.
Oh, well, because this made
number 12
a bazillion dollars.
Oh, yeah.
So it's actually the highest grossing like slasher start for a movie.
Well, and it ends with him breathing, too.
Oh, yeah. That's
so they really just give themselves all the framework to, like, build and to do a new one.
Yeah, so now, I mean, like...
Because now the third one is motive.
Right, and now you could just move forward with it instead of... that's why they wiped out those sequels as far as this continuity goes.
Right.
They'll make a bunch more, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason to, but they will.
I hope they're all equally as bad.
Yeah.
Just because it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting time.
I would say
as we revive this, what's it called? This franchise, I feel.
Well, yeah, so now they're already in talks of a Friday the 13th reboot, which means we'll be seeing Jason. We will absolutely be seeing Freddy if these things do well.
Oh, yeah, people love him.
I'm seeing all these things come back.
Yep.
That's my expectation.
I hope Scream comes back. I always like them.
Oh, yeah.
Because the fourth one was not too long ago, but, I guess it never truly caught on.
Yeah. I guess we're going to see a revival of, horror icons.
Yeah.
Slasher movie people.
It's about that time.
Yeah.
To where they should be making their revival.
Right. I guess we're getting into, that version of nostalgia.
Right, where it's like, now we have to go back and do, we can't do anything new.
No, oh, yeah.
We have to reuse old things. It's like, which is kind of annoying, just in movies in general in this day and age. It's like, everybody's so scared to do something new that all they're doing now is, revival nostalgia stuff because that worked once. Well, let's brand it like this.
Well, and then the problem is studios don't want to fund things because they know people aren't going to go out to things that they don't recognize.
Exactly.
And you see it I always talk about from earlier this year, Annihilation.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fantastic sci-fi movie.
Right.
That bombed here in the U.S. So they could have done a sequel. They won't probably.
Right.
And it's just they want to go for those safe bets. And now that this Halloween made all this money, now we're going to see all these horror movies come back. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
It's like the stuff with Star Wars and X-Men characters and everything like that. It's it's people are going to go for what they recognize, which also just plays into the price of movies.
Well, yeah.
If movies weren't $13 to $15, I'd see an off-brand or random movie.
Well, that's the thing. I saw Annihilation using MoviePass because I could.
Right.
And it ended up being great.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's people just aren't going to pay for something they don't recognize, and you can't really blame them.
Yeah.
So now here we go with all this horror stuff.
And then, there had, at least this year and last year, there have been a few outliers to that theory.
Right.
The Greatest Showman.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Which, we saw right away and we really liked, but it took some time for that to get as big as it did.
Yeah, it took a few weeks.
And it was brilliant marketing tactics.
Mm-hmm.
They took all those songs and they had people cover them on YouTube.
Yep.
And they had big time cover, YouTube cover people cover them. And then everyone knows the songs, so now they gotta go see the movie.
Exactly.
And that had this crazy resurgence. It was it opened not so great, and then 2 weeks later it blew up.
Yeah.
Because they got the music out there first, and that was brilliant marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's it was the third top selling album of this year.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
They're about to release a deluxe sing along edition. They're gonna release an entire cover version of it with Panic at the Disco and stuff doing covers. Mm-hmm. It's huge. That and I had another example in mind, and I forget.
I don't know. Yeah, basically, I just want more of that.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Murder on the Orient. Which they're coming out with the next book in movie form of that too, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
If we could just have more stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there is a sense of I mean, you say what you will about superhero fatigue. I don't know how true it is because they still make more and more money with every release. Mm-hmm. But I still think at the same time it's people aren't tired of it to the point where they won't go.
Right.
But there is a sense of when you see something different, there's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, like that's not a superhero movie. That's not a Star Wars movie. I'll go see that.
Right.
And I think that's why you have these at least like a couple outliers that get away. And granted, like Murder on the Orient is an old book. It's been done in movie form, but I wouldn't call it a recognizable property.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
To the masses. And Greatest Showman was a completely original musical, which is something that has been given up on. Making like original movie musicals. It hasn't been done in a while. And to that success. So, I mean, we can expect to see a million more of those, but...
Yeah, it's just people, like, getting the courage to, like, take the shot or take the risk.
Yeah.
To where it's like, if it fails, but if it takes off, like, you're making money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like, can we just let nostalgia kind of be nostalgia for once in a while? You know what I mean?
Well, we were talking about the other night, when it comes time to be nostalgic for the 2010s, what even is there to be nostalgic for? Because the 2010s is all about, like, 70s, 80s nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, the 2010s. Look at the style. Very reminiscent of the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Minus,
I always love how they do
dubstep.
that. Yeah, exactly.
I think, like, you can look to, like, dubstep, I guess. And like, I would say, music-wise, like, hip-hop has been really good in the last, like, 5 years. But, like, otherwise, like, it's just, like, comic book movies, some good music. Actually, a lot of good music. And then, like... But as far as, like, the style, as far as, like, most movies go, it's all reboots, remakes...
Yeah,
nostalgia-based things such as Stranger Things, as we see on TV right now.
Yeah, as we see it pop up.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Michael?
I guess not.
Yeah, I guess he's good. So yeah, definitely go see Halloween if you're in the mood to see something that reminds you of all the other Halloweens.
If you saw the other Halloweens, or any of them, and you want to see another one, go see this Halloween.
Yeah, go see this one.
Yeah.
But don't expect anything new.
Yeah.
But yeah, we always have more podcasts coming out.
Yeah.
We have some already up. And then keep looking on our channel because there's a lot of movies in the pipeline.
Oh yeah, there's
the
so
next
much...
like 6 months at least.
This whole winter, there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah.
So we will definitely be reviewing.
Yes, and we will be reviewing the new Movie Pass services that we decided to use other than Movie Pass themselves.
That's right.
So once again, I'm Brooks.
I'm Joe.
And this has been another episode of Cantina Reviews Barside Chats.